Thanks for listening to Mike Douglas, Michigan's retirement coach.
So now that we're getting into the springtime, I guess the expression, summer bodies are made in the fall. So if you're just getting to your workout regimen for swimsuit season, you might be a little bit behind the curve. Also, you come off of the holidays and then boom, Valentine's Day hits, all the chocolates, and then boom, here come the Girl Scouts with their cookies, and McDonald's has got its Shamrock Shake. Delicious.
Cadbury
goodness.
Easter eggs.
Oh my gosh, then the Easter candy's coming for us. It's like we can't even.
Yeah. What are we doing? Just a consumption society.
Give us more. We want our processed foods and our sugar. I do appreciate the fact that this time of year, yes, the Girl Scouts are out. The Shamrock Shake is available, but for a limited time, everybody. And then they pack it all up and it's see you next year. But that's the good news about the delicious treats. If you missed it, because by the way, I think at this point, if you didn't get your Shamrock Shake, the window is closed. But you know it's coming back around next year. Same with the Girl Scout cookies. Thinking about the work that you do and this next phase of our life, our retirement, there are windows of opportunity in that space that don't come back around. If you miss them, you miss them. The opportunity is gone. And actually, the opportunities start for many people long before retirement. It starts at age 50. So that's what I wanted to ask you about, Mike. Can you talk to us about examples on if you don't do this thing by this age, then you might have missed the opportunity when it comes to our retirement planning? What are those things that we don't want to miss out on?
Yeah, there's some key ages we want to be aware of and understand the benefits that are out there. We forget about quite a few of them. For retirees, there's a few things. Let's cover first age 50, the catch-up contributions. Once you turn 50, you can start putting more money into your 401k or into your IRAs. The government says, hey, we know it's coming up on you, and you've probably had kids coming through your house and all the expenses, but now you can throw a little extra in your retirement accounts to help you get ready for retirement. So that's the thing that starts at age 50. And then once you get into retirement, like you can't put more money back in if you're not working anymore. So that is a unique window starting at age 50. Age 55, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this one because this is one that I had a client we just went through this with not too long ago.
Okay.
But in most 401ks, you can get penalty-free access to your money and from your 401k. So I'll give you an example. I had a guy who's retiring. This is back 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he came in and he said, all right, I'd like to retire. I'm 56 years old. He's 55, getting ready to turn 56. Mm-hmm. And so he already had in his mind, I'm going to retire. I'm going to roll my money from my 401k over to my IRA. Mm-hmm. That way it's not in the company plan anymore. And I can just do that. And as we went through, I said, all right, I hear your plan. Why do you want to move it from your 401k to your IRA? He says, so I can invest it better. There's way more investment options outside of a 401k, mm-hmm. which I agree with. Mm-hmm. He said, there's better things I can do there. So then I asked him, well, how are you going to get income during your retirement, age 56 through 59 and a half?
Right.
And he said, well, I'll have to just pull it out and take the 10% penalty, but I really think I can get better investment options over there. So as we went through the planning, I said, did you realize that at age 55 in your company plan, if you leave money in the 401k, you can pull it out to live off of. You still have to pay income tax, but you don't pay the 10% penalty anymore.
Got it.
I said, I didn't realize that. And so for him, what we did is we went through, and there's about $1.2 million in the 401k. Mm-hmm. We figured out that they needed about $60,000 a year from this 401k. Mm-hmm. So knowing he's 55, almost turning 56, we left about $300,000 in the 401k.
And then
and that way
rolled the rest over into an IRA?
Yeah, we took the $900,000, moved it to the IRA, and started investing it the way he was talking about.
Yeah.
Some were more aggressive, some were more diverse. He wanted some in annuities. And so we kind of went through and we were able to do that with one side, but you don't have to pay a 10% penalty to do it. So we put the rest of it, we left it in the 401k, used that to live off of until he got to 59 and a half. So that's a great one that a lot of people don't understand. If I want to get out at 55, people think they have to work to 59 and a half or 60 to get to their money. It's just not true.
Okay.
For most people at age 55, you can pull from your 401k without any penalties. There's some confusion about this, and company plans are different. Not everybody allows it. If you'd like to understand how this applies to your situation, if you're 54 or 55 and you're thinking about retiring and you say, well, I didn't realize I could use this money. I thought I had to wait till 59 and a half. That's not true. Most people can do something about it. We will have that conversation. We can show you your early or pre 59 and a half exit from work. We can teach you how to retire at your time, not based on an IRS regulation. If you'd like to have that phone call to understand what your situation is, give us a call, 616-512-2127, and we can help you understand what your plan says, what your situation is. 616-512-2127, or you can reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com. So age 50 is the first thing. Age 55 is another opportunity. Then comes the one that we all know about, 59 and a half. At 59 and a half, I can start taking money out of my retirement accounts, my Roth or my IRA or my 401k, and there's no 10% penalty. That's correct. That's a big one. You wait till that age if your money is not in a 401k to use. Next up is age 65. Age 65, Medicare hard enrollment window. If you don't sign up on time, your premiums can be permanently higher for as long as you have coverage. It can be a costly reminder that some retirement decisions can't be fixed later. You need to get your Medicare enrollment done in time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can ding you for life with higher premiums.
The Medicare rules are very tricky. That's, to me, a space that's so frustrating because I don't need Medicare, I'm still working, or just there's a lot of rules in that space that you don't want to mess up.
Yeah, and that's the problem. So a lot of times we say, well, I'd like to build a retirement plan. And we go talk. And if you talk to a lot of like the big box firms or the big financial institutions, they are investment planners. They are not retirement planners. They are not fiduciaries. They're definitely not CFPs, a lot of them. And so what they do is they go through and say, here's the stocks and bond portfolio we're going to build for you. And then they say, you need to find a Medicare specialist. You need to find a tax specialist. You need to go find an estate planning attorney. You need to go find someone to help you with long-term care. They will not help you with those things because their company says we're an investment company. They work for the Merrills or the Eddie Jones or whomever. They work for the investment company.
Yeah.
Versus independent firms go through and say, we have to drastically change the plan if you miss that Medicare enrollment window. So let's make sure we get that done in time. We can use that 55 and keep money in the 401k. There's things that independent advisors do every single day to help people retire the right way that big box firms just can't do. They will just get you a 60-40 portfolio and tell you just to ride it out. So that's just a little plug, but I really think that's a big thing to talk about.
Okay.
So age 65, hard enrollment window. The next one is your Social Security ages. So we know that you can start taking Social Security at 62. I kind of skipped over that one, but I kind of wanted to all be in this one.
Okay.
Social Security, you can start taking it at age 62, 60 if you're a widow. At 62, you can start taking it. Your full retirement age for most people is 67 now, but it's somewhere between 66 and 67, all the way up to age 70. So at 62, if you take Social Security, you can receive it. You receive a reduced benefit, and you have a maximum earning per year you can do. You can't work full time and get that benefit for most people because your earnings are too high for the income limit. At full retirement age, 67, you can earn as much money as you want, and they will not reduce your Social Security benefits. However, they are subject to taxes. And then age 70 is the maximum age for starting to claim your Social Security. You can't postpone it and get more growth beyond that. The window closes at age 70. Okay. So you have to turn it on at that point.
Okay.
Finally, age 73. Required minimum distributions begin. That's when your pre-tax accounts, your 401k or 403b, the accounts that you've never paid taxes on, maybe your company put money in and they didn't pay taxes on, at age 73, you have to start taking money out of that and paying taxes on it. Basically, the government annuitizes your 401k every year. So that's age 73. It is moving to age 75, but that's not till 2034.
Okay.
So as it stands today, age 73 is when you have to start taking money out of your pre-tax accounts or any 401k. So if you have a Roth IRA that's not pre-tax, there's no RMDs on it. If you have a Roth 401k, you have to start taking distributions out at age 73. So one reason why it's important when you retire, roll your Roth 401k into a Roth IRA, no required distributions. So these are a lot of dates. There's a lot of information. And this is just like one piece of it, right? This is just a retirement timeline.
Yeah.
This is not talking about what are the best sources of income. This is not talking about advanced tax strategies for retirees. This is just a calendar that you need to know in your retirement. Here are dates that matter to everybody in retirement. We all feel like we're this island, like, well, I've got this unique thing. And that's true. But yet the IRS puts these standards and practices out there and says, you know what? At age 65, you have to be in Medicare.
Right.
At age 70, you have to be in the Social Security system. At age 73, you have to start taking money out of your accounts. So it's important to know these rules, but also to know that they are just a piece of the retirement pie. And we need to build a comprehensive plan around it to make it all work. Like I said, this is not about what investments to choose. That is a part of it, but that's like coaching one basketball player and hoping the whole team wins.
Yeah.
What we need to do is have a plan that says, here's how much I'm going to pay in taxes, and here's how I reduce my taxes over my life. Here's my estate plan. Here's my Medicare plan. Here's my long-term care options. Here's my investment strategies, my income strategies. All these things on one page, on one piece of paper, on one plan, working together, all running the same play. So this is what it means to build a retirement plan. When we build a life plan for somebody, we walk them through this process to understand not just that I have to do something about it, but the why and the how. So that way, when they retire with confidence and they're not worried and they're not doing things like what Mike, my guy who's going to retire and take his money out of his 401k right over to IRA. He was going to willingly pay a 10% penalty just because he didn't know the options.
Right.
That's a $6,000 penalty every year on the $60,000 he was going to take out. That's an ignorance tax. He just didn't know.
Right.
We know these rules. We help people retire every day, and we know strategies to help you get to retirement your way on your terms, saving and avoiding these ignorant taxes as much as possible. If you'd like to have a conversation where we go through and build a life plan for you, we understand your situation, and then we walk you through the process of making sure you are completely covered by all these different areas. Give us a call, 616-512-2127, and we will help you, again, just understand your retirement, retiring on your terms. It's not about the financial company. It's not about the institutions. It's not about the industry. It's about you and your family. What do you want retirement to look like? Building a plan that works that way. 616-512-2127, or you can reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com.
We've opened up 5 spots on the calendar just for radio listeners today. So call right now. Reserve one of these spots for yourself. 616-512-2127. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement and you've saved at least $500,000, that's where you're really going to see the power of this kind of planning take effect. And Mike and his team want to show you what they can do for you. It starts with an initial no fee, no obligation phone conversation, just you and Mike on the phone, where you can ask some questions, express your concerns, and then he'll explain what they do at Life Plan Financial Design and how they might be able to help you. 616-512-2127. 616-512-2127. All right, let's talk about what's happening around us, because the chaos of the headlines feels just that, chaotic. Nothing's slowing down. Interestingly enough, we have economically been able to avoid a recession, but there's a new study, Mike, talking about how apparently we're having some sort of retirement confidence crisis and recession. So this study shows how many people have saved but don't know what to do next. For instance, almost half of people in this survey don't have a written financial plan, believe having a 401k will be enough, don't know how they'll turn their savings into income, and they have no idea what to do next to prepare for retirement. So for somebody listening to you on Wood Radio right now, if that describes them, if they're like, yep, relate to all that, what would you say to that person?
Well, I think that there's good news.
Okay.
Right. So the good news is this: there is an other side.
There's
of this,
good news,
right?
Everybody. Listen, lean in.
Yeah. This is not clickbait. This is not just, sensationalism that is sold to you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
What's funny is 47% don't have a written financial plan. Here's the good news. It's pretty easy to get one.
Okay.
Like, you can get one and you can check that box off. It's like my kids, when I'm putting them, so my kids are 15, 13, 11, and 10. Mm-hmm. My 15-year-old is going to bed better than ever because he's tired from basketball practices and he's worn out and he enjoys sleep. Mm-hmm. But when the kids were younger, I'd go up and it was always my job to tuck him into bed. And so I'd take him up to bed. We'd say our prayers. We'd talk a little bit. And then I'd say, all right, it's time for bed. And after a while, inevitably, a lot of times my daughter or my youngest son, Caleb, they would come down and say, I can't sleep. And I say, well, here's the thing. I'm just asking you to lay in bed. Like, it's that easy. The easiest thing in the world you can do right now is do nothing. If you just do nothing, you will eventually fall asleep. And they would say, I know. But I say, guys, just trust me. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to lay in bed. We had these audio books and Bible stuff that they listen to. And so we'd put it on there and say, just lay in bed and it's going to work itself out. Trust me. And so they would do that. And so what's so funny is now as they've gotten older, they know I just got to go get in bed and it's going to work itself out. There is a way it's really, really easy. I don't have a written plan. You can have one.
That's literally really every single week here on the radio. We're literally like, give us a call. Mike can do that for you.
Yeah. It's like, I've never had one. I understand. And that's why you're listening. That's why you're looking for something. That's why you're trying to figure out. That's why people have these feelings. 64% worry about running out of money more than death itself.
Yep.
Well, if there's a written plan in front of you showing if the market's good, bad, or indifferent, how am I going to be the rest of my life?
Yep.
And how do I get paid? The part where it says they believe having a 401k will be enough, 53%. They've not stress test that at all. The portion you said they don't know how they'll turn their savings into an income. Well, in a retirement plan that's written out, detailed, documented, it tells you month by month how you get paid every year and from what account, and then what to do next. So this is great. This is a great list because it's easy solutions.
Okay.
This is not trigonometry.
Okay.
This is not advanced calculus. We do not need to go into complicated algorithms and AI to figure this out.
Yeah.
We've been doing this at Life Plan since it was it started out on a yellow legal pad. Remember, we'd sit with people. This is back in the early 2000s. We just sit down with clients with a yellow legal pad and just map it out. Here's what we're going to do. And here's how we're going to write it out. And our former CEO, before he passed, he would say all the time, he says, it needs to be sophisticated to be executed, but simple enough to understand on a napkin. And I always thought that was interesting. He said, if your client is sitting down with someone at lunch and they say, what are you doing for retirement? Can the client just take it and draw it on a napkin? Because if they understand it that well, they'll sleep better at night. And there are written plans for income, for investments, for taxes. And it's that easy. You just have a plan written out. However, it's easy for those who do it every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like changing oil is easy for someone who does it every day at Valvoline, or just like doing ballet is really easy for the ballet instructor who's been doing it their whole life. But the rest of us walk in the room and go, what the heck's happening right now? That's how people feel about retirement.
Yeah.
I just have these accounts and I don't want to deal with it. Great. Sit down with someone who does it every day and it's very easy for them. Right. So again, we retire people all the time.
Yep.
And it is not a challenging thing to get a written financial plan. It is challenging to have confidence without one.
Yeah.
So to those of you who are listening, you say, well, I have a 401k, but I don't know how I'm exactly getting income out of it, how much I can afford to take out, how much is too much to take out. Those are easy things to run and make plain to you. That way from there, you can write it on a napkin, or you can feel confident knowing that you're in the right place at the right time for your family. If you'd like a written financial plan, a life plan that says from here through age 100, here's how we get income. Here's how we invest. Here's how we pay taxes and how much. And here's how we can reduce taxes. Here's how our money passes on to our kids. Here's what we do in a survivorship scenario. If one of the spouses dies, here's how we live. Those are all in the plan. So if you'd like to have a written financial plan that takes you from fear, concern, not knowing into an easy place of comfort, give us a call. 616-512-2127. Again, 616-512-2127, or you can reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com.
Right now, if you know Mike and myself on any kind of personal level, you will know that there is, much to the chagrin of your wife, Kimberly, there is some junk food. There is some junk food. What's the word I'm looking for? Affinity. There's some junk food affinity that we both share. Are you more of a salty person or a sweet person? I feel like there's
Salty.
two people in life. You're salty.
Yeah. The sweet stuff, like if I eat much in the world of sweets, it kind of just, it knocks me down a little bit.
I will say there is more, obviously, for obvious reasons, when you get into the sweet stuff, you'll feel the crash harder.
I feel like I can graze on salty all day long. Whereas like when I have sweet, after about 2-3 minutes, I'm like, oh, that's enough.
Well,
Which leads into our story here.
and how it affects us on so many different levels. Sweet snackers. This one's for you. If you are a fan of Oreos, as so many Americans are, you're probably, even if you're not a fan of Oreos, you're familiar with double stuffed Oreos. And that name makes you think you're getting twice the filling, that delicious creamy middle. But years ago, a New York math class proved Oreo incorrect. There was a high school class in New York. They put it to the test. They found that double stuffed Oreos actually fell 7% short of that double stuff creamy middle. Wasn't there a thing that happened? Didn't Subway get sued for the foot long because it ended up measuring like 10 inches or something? The sandwich didn't truly measure 12 inches. Am I making that up?
It seems about right. I don't remember the story, but it seems about right.
It seems about right. And also it does seem like maybe some of us have too much time on our hands. Anyways.
Well, I'm thinking I was in the wrong math classes in high school is what I was thinking.
Right. Where's the math class about Oreos?
Yeah, I'm doing like side angle, side theorem in geometry in Michigan. And these kids are just pounding Oreos and calling it math.
And having a good time. Bring it back around. The label created expectations, but the reality was, in fact, different. It's not unlike your retirement savings and what taxes will do to those savings as expectations go, unfortunately, working against you. How often do you find that folks that come into the office for initial meetings expect one number and then find out taxes take more than they thought or even realized?
Well, with this, I thought of two different scenarios. Yeah. So one is people have an idea of what they're going to spend in retirement.
Okay.
And then they live a year and then they realize it's not enough.
Okay.
Or it's, and then that's an issue. I had a guy who I just did a call with him last week and he's been retired now, coming up on a year.
Okay.
And as he went through his year, we budgeted out what he was going to spend and he was dogmatic. I know exactly what I'm going to spend. I said, okay, and I love it because he's a planner and a thoughtful person. We just retire people all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm convinced I understand a lot of stuff, but then I go see my mechanic or see whomever and I'm like, oh gosh. And in the same way, he knew, here's what I'm going to spend, here's what I'm going to spend. But I know idle hands can be the devil's workshop, right? Yeah. And at the same time, he had all this idle time and started getting into a lot of fun hobbies, which is what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
He just didn't budget that in because he goes, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And so then he and I just met and he laughed because I kind of read back some conversations he and I had had. And he goes, you're right. I was going to spend a little more. So we need to
curse you.
And I said, well, the good news is this is what we do every single day.
Yeah.
We help people figure out how to use their money appropriately in retirement.
Yeah.
And so we went through and had to recalibrate his plan quite a bit because now he was planning on needing $7,000 a month. They need closer to $9,000, almost $10,000 a month after taxes. So it's not as simple as just bumping it up a little bit. We have to factor in taxes and factor in what's this going to do to their Social Security income and all these. Are we pushing up against the Medicare premium increases with the Magi and the IRMA limits? Like there's a lot that goes on there.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's a beautiful science that we can work through. And people think all the time, well, I can't do this. I can't. No, you can. We just need to build a plan for it. They're deathly afraid of remodeling the kitchen or taking the cruise because what if it costs more in taxes? And I would submit it costs more in regret than it does in taxes. If you don't take the trips you planned on, if you wait forever to finally get the kitchen you've been wanting your whole life, what's the point? Like we should enjoy these things as long as we can. And I keep coming back to that book. Heather, I talk about all the time. But I just sent it to another client last week.
Yeah.
Die with Zero by Bill Perkins.
Yep.
It is such a good perspective on life. And I have no affiliation with him. This isn't like a sponsorship.
Right.
However, our mutual friend, Thomas Zebley, sent me this book and I read it and I'm like, oh my gosh,
very
this is so
fascinating. Good. It's a fascinating idea of don't die with millions of dollars. Live your life. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's written by a hedge fund manager. And the idea being that die with zero regrets and manage your money appropriately. So for us, it's that living inheritance model. What do I do while I'm living? How can I bless my grandkids and my kids?
Yeah.
Do my kids finally get a blessing from me in their 60s when I die in my 80s and now they're retired, versus helping them build a family and build a home and build life together?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot into it. But when we see these things, how much I need after taxes, there's a lot of misconceptions. Oh no, I'll travel, I'll still do things. And then we see that as health changes or whatever, there's life that hits, and sometimes you do or don't accomplish the things you want. So I think that, just like my client Tom, I'm so glad that he reached out and said, hey, my hobbies are getting too expensive, we need a raise.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
Because he's being busy, he's doing a lot of cool stuff, and he's incorporating it in with his grandkids.
Yeah.
His grandkids are
That's
doing
great.
his hobbies with them.
Yeah.
My dad finally retired, and now he is reaching out constantly. But hey, and I mentioned this, and actually I just talked to someone who called in from the show. But my dad is reaching out saying, hey, do you need help getting the kids to practice tonight?
Yep.
Well, what are we doing this week?
I love it.
And I think that's a beautiful thing, because he's keeping busy with the things that matter most, which is his grandkids and his family. So there's a lot of unknowns in retirement planning.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns in the financial world, in the political world, in the stock market world, but you can know with certainty that things are going to be okay. If you're listening and that's you, and you say, I just like some peace of mind that I don't feel, give us a call, 616-512-2127, and we can have a conversation about your life, your goals, your retirement, and see if you're on track. A 30-minute conversation just to hear your story. And as you talk with me and our team, we go through and say, hey, here's what we're doing. As you talk with me, we can hear where you are and hear what you're doing in life and see if it's where you want to go. And if you have anything we need to fix, give us a call, 616-512-2127, or reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com. There are so many things you can do to be prepared for the future. And there are so many things you can do to bring the future to you now.
Okay.
Just like Tom with his habits and his expenses. Another one, and this is kind of a little sidebar for just a second.
Yeah.
But in this conversation with Tom, just as of this year, there's a thing called the Public Act 4 of 2023. A very nerdy talk, but basically it says...
say that again slowly. The Public Act 4 of 2023?
Public Act 4 of 2023.
Okay.
It's basically the state of Michigan said that by 2026, most Michiganders do not have to pay state income tax on their IRA distributions.
Okay.
You can take withdrawals from your retirement accounts, pay no state income tax if your combined income is less than $124,000.
Huh.
And then even only the money above that is taxed. So another thing we're doing for raises is going back to clients who have had these long-term withdrawals set up and removing the state income tax off of them. Because you're still going to get the money back from the state at the end of the year. But what if you got a monthly raise just by updating your withholdings?
Yeah. That's
a valuable thing you can do.
Okay.
Retirement planning is constantly evolving and changing. Laws change, so should your plan, and so should your withholdings and your updates. That's what a retirement plan looks like. To build something, to understand something, to know that you're going to be okay, give us a call, 616-512-2127.
Mike and his team, they're here to help guide you through this process, because at the end of the day, the goal is that you're going to retire one time. But Mike and his team, they're retiring every single day. We're helping folks do that. So they got a wealth of knowledge in their pocket that they're ready to share with you. MichigansRetirementCoach.com is our website where you can go to start the conversation with Mike and his team, or click on the links we got posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit MichigansRetirementCoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.